Hello everyone, welcome to today's news starter. Let us begin with the news of the. So the question is, which among the following statements related to black hole is incorrect? Black hole is a space phenomenon. I hope all of you know about it. About black hole, four statements are provided here, and they have asked which among them is incorrect. So let us look at the statements one by one. The first statement, it is a region of space-time where gravity is extremely high. How a black hole is formed. A black hole is formed when a star reaches the end of its life stage, where the fuel gets over. Hydrogen is the fuel in stars. So the fuel gets over, and then the black hole will be formed by implosion of the star within itself. So it is a region with high gravity is correct because when such a big mass collides within itself, the gravity tends to increase to a greater extent. So this statement is correct. A black hole can grow in size. Black hole is a body which will absorb everything that comes near it. So when it absorbs things which comes near it, it absorbs energy, it absorbs mass also. So its size will increase. So this statement is correct. Light cannot escape the black hole, but electromagnetic waves can escape. Electromagnetic waves also cannot escape a black hole. So this statement is the incorrect statement. The final one is supermassive black holes exist in the center of most galaxies, which is a right statement. So let us get into the topics of the day: fiscal consolidation and its importance. Fiscal consolidation means what? Fiscal consolidation means the government of the country trying to reduce the fiscal deficit. So, in the recent interim budget of 2024, the government of India has told that we are moving towards fiscal consolidation. We will try to reduce the fiscal deficit of the country to 5.1 percentage of GDP. And slowly by 2025-26, we will reach 4.5 percentage of GDP as fiscal deficit. So this is fiscal consolidation. Why it is good for a government? Because when you reduce the fiscal deficit, that means the government is reducing its borrowings, the government is reducing its debt. So the finances of the country will become strong, the currency of the country will become strong. A lot of savings will be there with the government, so that in future, if in case some global economic crisis happens, the government will be in a position to spend the money that it has saved throughout the fiscal consolidation. So fiscal deficit refers to shortfall in government's revenue. That is the total revenue minus total expenditure gives you the fiscal deficit. In order to fund its fiscal deficit, generally what the government does is it borrows money from bond market. So when the government borrows money from bond market, it is either the public or the Reserve Bank of India which gives the money to the government. So this puts the government in a position as a debtor. So this is not good. The government of the day can borrow money to a certain extent, but not more than the particular limit, because then the people will not be having the money in their hand. So this will reduce the economic potential of the country. As the government's finances worsen, demand for government's bond begin to drop. Whenever the fiscal deficit keeps increasing, then people, the public, the capital market will think that the government is not in a position to pay the money back. The government is not in a position with a good fiscal status. So the people will try to avoid government bond, so that the interest rate, the government has to increase the interest rate. If the government bonds demand gets reduced, in order to strengthen it, the government will tell we will provide more interest. So this will again get into a vicious cycle where the government will have to pay more to the people. So high fiscal deficit will eventually result in high inflation. In the shorter term, if you see, when the government gets more money from the people, it looks like the government is trying to reduce the inflation. But in longer term, what happens is government will get into debt. The government will have to increase its revenue. So in order to increase its revenue, the government will tend to print more money, which will result in inflation. So recently, a couple of months back, the International Monetary Fund told that government of India and its debt burden has been increasing. It was going to reach 100% of GDP. So in this situation, fiscal consolidation becomes very important. Dusted Apollo butterfly. Any species, any flora, any fauna, or any avian species that was in news is always important for your prelims. So you need to study about it very well. Dusted Apollo butterfly was in news recently, so you need to have a clear idea about it. So it is called as Pernicious stenocemus, and it is located in Himachal Pradesh, Chamba district. So where is its range is very important. You need to know about it. Its range extends from Ladakh in the northwestern part of Himalayas to western Nepal, flying at altitudes of 3,500 to 4,800 meters. So this is why this butterfly is very important, because it can fly at extremely high altitude, 3,500 meters above the normal sea level is something which is very difficult to survive. But these dusted Apollo butterflies are surviving in such difficult conditions. The discovery is indicative of flourishing diversity in the region. So, how to preserve such species which are not generally available in all kind of places, which are available in only certain certain space or certain environmental conditions? You need to educate the local communities about the importance of butterfly conservation, because butterflies will result in helping the plants during pollination. So it will help the help the biodiversity of the region to a greater extent by prioritizing the creation of butterfly parks, conservation reserves, etc. So these are all the basic things you need to know about dusted Apollo butterfly. Let's move to the next topic of the day. It is about Gatka. Gatka was in news today, so you need to know about it because it gets covered under GS1 Art and Culture. Gatka is a traditional martial art form which is practiced by the Sikhs in Punjab. It includes swords, sticks, and it showcases the fighting skill of the people, where they'll be fighting with swords or sticks, and then a shield will be there to protect themselves. The origin of Gatka is around the time period of Hargobind Singh, who is the sixth Sikh Guru. So he is the one who included Kirpan. Kirpan is a sword that the Sikhs will have to carry for self-defense during the Mughal era, because the Sikhs were facing a lot of threat from the Mughals during this time period. So wooden sticks called as soti or shields called as fari are used in Gatka. 10th Guru, that is Guru Gobind Singh, made it compulsory for everyone to use the weapons for self-defense. Gatka Federation of India was started in 2008, and it is open for all people of all faith to learn this art form in the recent times. So about Gatka, what you need to know is the instruments that are used: a shield, a sword, or a wooden stick. It is Guru Hargobind Singh who started this tradition, and then during the time period of Guru Gobind Singh, it got into the practice that they have to compulsorily carry the weapon for self-defense. Ergosphere. When we talk about black hole, certain important aspects you need to know. So black hole is very important for examination this year because several countries, even India, has been trying to learn more about black holes through several space missions. So black hole, how is it formed? A black hole is formed when a really massive star runs out of fuel, that is hydrogen, and then collapse within itself, which will result in heavy increase of mass and gravity. So this creates a black hole. And the center of the black hole is called as gravitational singularity, because the gravitational force, the extreme amount of gravitational force that origins from the ergos from the entire black hole comes from this region. That is the central part of the black hole, which is called as gravitational singularity. The event horizon is a spherical surface that covers the black hole, the outer part of the black hole. And whenever any space, any material enters this space, it cannot escape, and it will get absorbed into the black hole. What is ergosphere? Ergosphere is a place which is just beyond the event horizon. Around the event horizon, whatever space is there, it is called as ergosphere. And the significant point about ergosphere is Any object that travels at an extremely high speed but less than the speed of light, it can cross the ergosphere. It can just touch and come out of the ergosphere. So a rotating black hole will have ergosphere, and it is a bigger sphere than an object can enter and then leave the sphere without getting absorbed into the black hole. So this particular sphere is very important, because from this sphere, if we are able to send an object to the ergosphere is a place where you can go through but do not get absorbed into the black hole. So this object can collect a lot of information about the black hole if we are able to send any object to ergosphere and get it back. So for future space observations, this sphere is very important. Ergon means work. It is named as such because it is possible to extract matter and energy from ergosphere. So this is the basic information you need to know. About mains question of the day, let me read the question. Explain fiscal consolidation. So I have already told fiscal consolidation means reducing the fiscal deficit. How do we reduce fiscal deficit? By increasing revenue. Either the government should stop or reduce its expenditure towards unnecessary expenditures, and then it has to increase its revenue resources. So it will result in fiscal consolidation. What are the benefits of fiscal consolidation in comparison with fiscal expansion? We have discussed about it in detail in the first topic of the day. You can write those points in the answer. It's a straightforward answer. There is no a proper directive word or anything. It is just asking things in a very clear way. It's very easy to answer this question. About prelims pointers, INS Sandhyayak. INS Sandhayak is a very important vessel which is launched by the Indian Navy in the recent time. So INS Sandhayak is for the first survey vessel that was launched by the Indian Navy. INS Sandhayak is very important because for a country which is aspiring to be a naval superpower, we need to explore the naval surroundings and the oceans and seas which are surrounding us. So INS Sandhayak is a survey vessel. So it will help in hydrographic survey of the ports, harbors, navigational channels, routes, coastal areas, deep seas, everything. So proper survey of the surface of the ocean, the in-depth depths of the ocean, everything can be done using INS Sandhayak. So these are all the topics which you need to study from today's newspaper. Go through it, take note of the important aspects, take note of the most important points which we have discussed here. It will help you in your answers in mains. It will help you in prelims also. All the best. Have a good day.